Hello guys, welcome to Autolatest Cars. Today we are talking about the new Opel Grandland. This is the second generation of compact SUVs made by Opel. This is a car that actually is made in Germany, so it uses the 3008 platform. So you are going to receive in next year, I think, or this year in autumn, also an electric version. The real 3008 E3008 is going to be transferred at Opel range. It is going to be called Grandland Electric. So it's the same engine, the same battery, 98 kilowatt hour battery with around 300 horsepower, around 300 horsepower electric engine. But today we are talking about actually the car that is going to be the most important version of the Grandland on European market. It's called Opel Grandland SUV edition. This is we are going to talk about the entry-level version, which is called SUV edition, so the cheapest one. From the beginning, okay, let's start the car. From the beginning, compare with the previous generation of Opel cars, you will have the same, almost the same engine, but it's not the same engine. First of all, you'll have the new 1.2 turbo engine that it's called turbo now. It's an engine that has around 100. Let's stop the music. Around 140. An engine that it's called 1.2 turbo, 145 horsepower, and it's of course this is the new nomenclature from the Opel brand. Previously this engine had 130 horsepower, but it had an wet timing belt. Today we are talking about they say mild hybrid, but I think this is actually a full hybrid version. Soft hybrid, let's say, not full hybrid, let's say soft hybrid version. It's called 1.2 turbo. It has 136 horsepower and 230 newton meters, but also in the gearbox it receives the 28 horsepower electric engine and 55 newton meters. So combined, Stellantis says this engine has around 145 horsepower, and they say nothing about the torque. Okay, when you are driving in the highway, you'll have 100% petrol drive, because it's a normal engine. The new 3-cylinder, it's new. It has an timing chain, and of course the oil pump, it's connected with the chain. So this is the new generation 1.2. It's not the previous generation PureTech. This is the new one. So Stellantis says it manage all the old problems with the timing belt. It doesn't have that anymore. So the engine, it actually runs quite well, because it's heavily modified compared with the previous generation. A lot of you guys will definitely say it's a too small engine, 3-cylinder 1.2 liter mounted on the big car. This weighs around 1.6 tons. But the reality is that the entry-level engine, this one, combined with the electrified gearbox, actually makes a very good life. I drove this car for around almost 100 kilometers, and I could tell you that it's quite normal. It has a normal driving speed. It's like it acts like a 2-liter 150 horsepower, almost aspirated 20 years ago type of petrol engine mounted on a smaller SUVs, let's say. So or on the medium car. Let's say if you drove VW Passat 2.0 FSI, 150 horsepower, the driving style, it's almost the same. Or a Vectra, or Opel Vectra C with the 1.8 liter 140 horsepower. So this is not a sport car. This is not a sporty car. It's not a sport car. It's not a sporty car, but it has a lot of good things to remember. First of all, let's say this is the last 25 kilometers city driving and highway driving, and I have an average fuel consumption of 6.2, and in the last 56 kilometers, an average of 48 kilometers an hour. The average fuel consumption was 7.2. It's important because this engine actually drives quite well on electricity. when you are driving in the city driving. It has an the electric engine. It's integrated in the punch gearbox. This is a 6-speed punch gearbox. Of course, a lot of you guys are going to tell me 28 horsepower is not enough for this kind of big SUV, and they are correct. But for a normal one, for a normal driver that actually fears camera speeds and actually drives normally, this is quite enough. 145 horsepower turbo engine. You have to remember that a lot of Japanese cars are actually using normal aspirated big cc engines that are good, but they are not turbo, so they don't have that punch, the punchy of the turbocharger. So this one has it because it has 230 Newton meters, around 1,500 RPM. So if you push the accelerator, actually it moves because it's a turbo engine, and a lot of you guys don't like the 1.3, 1.2, 1.0 three-cylinder engines, but when they are mated to a turbocharger, they are quite good. They are not so reliable, I don't know, in over 300,000 kilometers, but for a daily driver, for a car that actually will drive, will have a lifespan of around, I don't know, 10-15 years, I think it's enough, or 150, 200,000 kilometers, I think it's enough. Stellantis made a lot of modification to this engine, and the gearbox is quite good because it's not an ECVT. This is not a multi-modal dog gearbox that actually they are getting a lot of these multi-modal dog gearboxes. AMG has it on ZS and HS, and all Renault Dacia have this gearbox, a gearbox that is quite beautiful when you're driving inside the city, but when you go to outside on the highway speeds, this double clutch gearbox is much better. So let's talk about the price. The car is borrowed from our partner. It's called Urial Pantelimon. This is the biggest dealership of Citroën, Peugeot, DS and Opel cars in Romania. The new Grandland, it's called SUV Edition 1.2 benzene hybrid, and they say hybrid, they don't say mild hybrid. 145 horsepower, 86. So the double clutch is not an 86, it's DCT EDCT6. So the price range with the VAT in this market, it's around 31,000 euros, but the price without VAT is 26,000 euros. So this is a bargain because this car actually competes with the Dacia Bigster, and we are going to talk about more about that version. The engine is 1.2, the fuel tank is 55 liters, the length is 4 meters 650, width, height, empty weight 1.6 ton. That's a lot, but this is a big car. when you look at the dimensions, this is a big car. The trunk is 610 liters. Dacia Bigster in the hybrid version has only 530 or something like that. So Opel Grandland, it's actually bigger than Bigster. Okay, this is the engine. That's the petrol engine, 136 horsepower, 5,500, and the torque 230 Newton meters at 1,050, and max speed 202, 0-100. And the electric engine that it's mounted in the gearbox has 28 horsepower, as I told you, and the maximum combined power it's 155. But we have to remember that the petrol engine has 230 Newton meters and the electric is 55. Average fuel consumption 5.6. The real fuel consumption of this car is around let's say 6.5. So if you drove an older Opel Astra K with the 1.3 multi-jet diesel engine CDTI, the average fuel consumption was around 6. If you drove the previous generation of Grandland with the diesel engine 1.5 CDTI, that it was also of Blue HDI Peugeot Citroën engine, 130 horsepower, you will have an average fuel consumption of 6.5. So this one with 145 horsepower actually consumes less than a diesel engine from the previous generation. So a lot of you guys that actually will say, okay, but the diesel is better. Okay, diesel is better. You know where is diesel better? Diesel is better on the highway at 140, 150 kph, where big SUVs, if they are not diesel power, they will have a very big fuel consumption because of the aerodynamic, the weight, and of course the petrol engines. So if you drive 90% in town, in city driving town, in normal driving style, not a sporty one, this car will be very, very beautiful for you, because it's silent, it's not a diesel. The gearbox is electrified, and in the inverter it's actually the same engine. So this is the curiosity of this punch gearbox. It has only one it has an electric engine that it's the 28 horsepower, and the inverter actually it's integrated in the same gearbox. So the gearbox is actually quite modular, so it's a marvel of technology from my point of view. The downsides of this car, the electric engine is too small, 28. Okay, guys, maybe 50 horsepower, around 50 horsepower. This system would behave even better, not only on city driving, but even outside. And of course, the battery is 0.8 kilowatt hour, which is quite small. The all competition is around plus 1 kilowatt hour. So Dacia Bigster has 1.6 kilowatt hour, so it's quite a big car. But comparing with the Dacia Bigster, we have to tell you that the build quality inside of this car is beautiful. The materials are well. This is soft materials, and of course the LCD system and everything inside is beautiful. Even the cup holders are much more elaborated compared with the Bigster. Bigster, it's a good car, but it's a car with the price range, from my point of view, around 26,000 euros maximum, not 34. So a lot of Dacia Bigsters 1.8 full hybrid with the dog gearbox, with the multi-model gearbox, with the top of the line version, will cost you around 34 with options, will cost you around 34,000 euros. Without the entry level is 35,000 euros with optionals. This car, this is the GS line. The GS line is actually more expensive. It's like 33,000 euros. So if you put some option on this top of the line car, which is top of the line from my point of view, you'll have a price around Dacia Bigster. So it's a very big problem for the Romanians, because this car is made in Germany. This car is much more fuel efficient on the highway. It's it has a better running gear compared with the hybrid system from Renault, because this is a normal petrol engine, turbocharged engine. It's not aspirated, so it has a very good punch when you push it, and it has a double clutch electrified gearbox system that is actually better compared with any other multimodal gearboxes on the highway, not on the city driving, but on the highway. And when you want to overtake some cars on the twisty lanes, you definitely would like with a gearbox with steps, with gears, not some electronic generated gears or something like that. So this is a more conventional car. The interior is better, the LCD system is better than Dacia, the build quality is better than Dacia, the seats are better than Dacia Bigster, the driving position is better, the ergonomics of this car is better. So definitely from my point of view, the new Opel Grandland is better than Dacia Bigster. So on your market, let's say France or Germany, you definitely could buy this car, Opel Grandland, but I think it's more expensive on our market here in Romania, in European Union. This car is sold around, as I told you, 31,000. No, definitely 31,000 euros without any discounts. And the Dacia Bigster with the same level of equipment, it's around 32,000 euros. So Dacia Bigster is more expensive than Opel Grandland, but has worse. The technology is. It's not so conventional, and that's a very big problem when you see the recalls on all Renault, Nissan, Dacia cars in the last 5 years, and especially the hybrid ones, and especially the multimodal E-Tech gearboxes. And Opel it's more conventional. It has a normal layout inside, better build quality. And of course, this car, it doesn't have any all-wheel drive system because it's not necessary. So if you want to drive somehow a compact SUV with four-wheel drive, you could buy Dacia Bigster without problem. But it's not going to be offered in the hybrid version, it's going to be offered only on the petrol engine, so on the four-wheel drive system, because the same multimodal e-tech gearbox is not capable of receiving an drive shaft or an all-wheel drive system. It could receive, of course, only an electrified version of four-wheel drive system, all-wheel drive system, let's say identical with the older and newer Lexus cars. So you have an electrical gearbox in the front, petrol engine in the front, no drive shaft, no nothing between the wheels, and they mount on a bigger engine on the rear wheel drive, like Toyota Yaris Cross is the same system, or Corolla Cross, a system that is actually good until you reach 50 kilometers an hour, because after 50 kilometers an hour, all the electric engines in the electricity that is going to the rear wheel electric engine will stop, because it's not capable of going around plus 50 or 100 kilometers an hour. So it's not this is not a replacement for a classical all-wheel drive system with drive shaft. So Opel Grandland, of course, it's a good car. Actually, it drives well. It has a very good tires. This is the standard ones. They're on 19-inch alloy wheels, Michelin E-Primacy, very silent. This is a electric tire. They are mounting these tires on electric vehicles. So when you put it on a normal SUV with an hybrid system, actually it drives quite beautiful. If you like what you hear and what you see, please like and subscribe. Thank you.